Good morning to all the members present here of Probus Heidelberg. Coming from Belgium, my wife Bea and myself are happy to join you in your meeting of the 13th of February. And I thank John for his presentation of the two of us as both members of different Probus clubs in the town of Kortrijk in Belgium. Bea being one of the founding members of her club, she will talk about her club later on, because as a whole, our presentation, we have foreseen to talk to you, A, about Belgium, B, about Probus in Belgium, and C, about a mixed gender Probus club as it was founded a number of years ago, 15 years ago, by amongst others, by my wife, Bea. So you all know, in one manner or another, Belgium, we think, is well known for its cartoons, of which Tintin is quite representative, or Asterix. We have several stories of Asterix against the Romans, and Tintin, there's the flight to Sydney. So there's a story about Tintin in Australia. But we are also known and remember all those who have fought in the battles, the First World War, the Second World War, of which in the area of Ypres, the Tuinkot Cemetery is one of the it's a huge cemetery, one of the most important. The port of Antwerp is the second port in Europe, so quite important international trade. There's a Ghent flower show taking place every 5 years, or a railway station built by an Italian architect, Calatrava. There's plenty more things Belgium is known for, amongst others also the European Parliament is in Brussels, and as was hinted also, there's not only the European Parliament, but also the Belgian Federal Parliament and the Dutch-speaking Parliament in Brussels. Those who visited Brussels certainly have passed by the Grand Place or have seen the Atomium. Industrially, we're known for mechanical industry, machine making, pharmaceutical industry, textile and carpets. But I won't expand too much on that, but locate Belgium in the whole of Europe. As you can see, it's a very small, tiny part, which if you want to compare it to something which you probably all know, the size of Tasmania is about twice the size of Belgium. And I don't know exactly the population of Tasmania, but it's probably about 500,000. But Belgium has about almost 12 million people as inhabitants. So make the comparison, and it's crowded, much more crowded than Belgium. Belgium is also one of the 6 countries that started the European Union of Coal and Steel, the forerunner of the present European Union. So Belgium founding country in 1958, and right now, after the Brexit, there's 27 countries member of the European Union. It is a kingdom with King Philip and Queen Matilda, founded in 1830, because Belgium seceded from Holland, and the larger Holland was created in 1815 as a buffer between the 3 big nations, Britain, France, and Germany. But in 1830, there was an uprising in Brussels, and we seceded from the Dutch crown. The Belgian leaders at that time decided that Belgium would still be a kingdom, and they were searching for a king and found him as a widowed prince, of German origin, but who had married a British princess, and he accepted. So Leopold I came over from England to become the first king of Belgium, and we're now at the seventh king. Belgium is divided into regions, and you have a dividing line almost halfway through the country, the country which is above France, south of the Netherlands, and west of Germany, and has a small Grand Duchy of Luxembourg on the southeast. The language division runs halfway in Flanders with Dutch as a mother tongue and about 60% of the population. Brussels, as the central capital, is located within that territory, but has a bilingual language regime. The south is Wallonia, and there the basic language is French. There is also a very small part, here in the Far East, which has German as their mother tongue. Population-wise, 60% in Flanders, 30% in Wallonia, 10% in Brussels, and about 80,000 here in the German-speaking part. Using the political division and the language division, we have 5 provinces in Flanders, 5 provinces in the Walloon part, and the German-speaking part is integrated in the province of Liège. And I use this in order to go over to the next slide, which is then the passing over to Probus. Probus in Belgium is divided into 6 regions, which coincide quite often in Flanders, certainly, with the provinces, of which West Flanders is our own province, and we live here on the corner, the edge with France. You have Lille, north of France here, and you have Kortrijk, our town, on the other side. So we're a member of this, which is in total the most important Probus region of the 6. In the Walloon part, the number of clubs and members are much more widespread in the territory, so the regions have been regrouping 2 or 3 provinces. The history of Probus in Belgium, in 1984, a person called George Dick from Antwerp picked up the Probus idea in England through Rotary, of course, and his Rotary Club Antwerp Ring created the very first Probus Club in Belgium in January of 1984. And still in the same year, 1984, he himself also created a first Probus Club in the south of Belgium, in the French-speaking part, in the town of Huy. There's no need to go through too many details, but I can recall that from 85 to 2000, there was a pretty rapid growth in both north and south of the language border, so in the entire Belgian territory, of 74 clubs that were started up. And that regime of starting up slowed down after the year 2000. Before the year 2000, virtually all clubs were created by Rotary clubs. Afterwards, many more by another Probus club. For the sake of completeness, we have no juridical entity as a base for the Probus clubs. They are organizations in fact. Membership, in total, we have approximately 4,200 members in 2024. 84% of those are men, 60% ladies. These 4,200 are grouped in 119 clubs, of which approximately half are all member clubs, and the other half, slightly more, mixed gender clubs. In Belgium, there are no ladies only clubs. If you look at the division by language, there are no German speaking clubs. Uh, I had hoped that during my uh, appointment as president that we could have started one, but that didn't happen. Mainly, partly because of COVID, but partly because we didn't find the right people to start one up. If you take the four Dutch-speaking regions, they represent about three-quarters of the total membership in 89 clubs. And in the two French regions, there are 30 clubs with about 900 members. And as I mentioned, uh, our region, West Flanders, has about 27 clubs, almost as much as the 30 clubs in the French part, and 1,000 members. Average club size is uh, approximately 40. There are some clubs with less than 20 members, 11 of them with they're either new or they are clubs in decline because of age. And clubs of more than 50 members are about as little as the one of less than 20 members, 11. But some have a large number. The maximum is 84. Annually, we can register about between 250 and 350 new members every year. But of course, during the COVID period, this dwindled down to about 130 and has since then now picked up again. Average age per club varies from about 68 to 89, with an overall average of about 77, 78. As an organization, Belgium is led by a national committee with a national president with a standard term of 2 years. We made an exception for COVID and made it 3 years then. And we have for each region, a regional coordinator who can serve a maximum of 3 terms of 2 years. Because of the language differences, at the meetings of the National Committee, each speaks his or her own language. The National Committee is supported by, on the one side, 6 persons with functional responsibility, like secretary, finance, a shop, communication. It can be mixed into and held by the same person, but also an ICT representative in each of the regions. What is the role of a regional coordinator? Simply what is standard all over with Probus. He's the liaison between the clubs of her or his region and the National Committee. It has a role of visiting clubs in the own region, and the number of clubs per region are between 13 and 27. They assist in organizing annual club, and they do the organization, sorry. They organize the annual club president meetings in their own region. Of course, they stimulate new membership, assist and sponsor creation of clubs, and they assist to organize regional or national days, which are held every 2 years. Every 2 years, a national day. The 25th took place after a delay because of COVID, took place in Antwerp last year. The next national day, the 26th, will be held in 2025. In the year in between, each region organizes its own regional day for the clubs of its own region. Communication-wise, very similar to what you have in Australia. There's a website. We call a newspaper articles that are put down on the website as they are communicated to the Central National Committee. There's a newsletter that is issued, just like you have the Australian newsletter. There's letters specific only to club management, and there's an annual directory as a communication. But we don't publish any personal information on the members. Some clubs have a monthly or quarterly newsletter. Some have their own website. Some create a website on the national website of Probus Belgium. The club activities, extremely comparable with what you have. Lunches with or without a speaker, sport activities, visits, excursions, trips 2-3 days, 3 to 5 days mostly, clubs alone or several clubs together, which I gather is very similar to what Probus Heidelberg is doing. On a national or regional level, I mentioned already club president meetings. They are organized every year by the regional coordinator. They are in practice organized by a local club or a group of clubs with the assistance of the regional coordinator. I mentioned already the 25th National Day, the regional days biannually in between, and every year there is the organization of a national golf tournament. To recognize exceptional achievements of Probus members for their own club or local clubs or their region or nationally, there is a recognition award named after the founder in Belgium, after George Dick, which is granted only by the National Committee. It has been put in place in the year 2007, and since then there are about 190 awards that have been granted to Probus members. What do we do internationally? Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg. We have created a Probus Benelux legal entity in order to protect the logo name and the logo of Probus and its name. And so before 2003, this was not done. In 2003, it was done by the then national president. But in 2013, we transferred that to a legal entity, which is called Probus Benelux, because you can only safeguard and protect in the three countries at the same time. It has to be protected in France separately or in Germany separately, but the Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg is one entity to apply for protection. And it has now been extended from 2023 to 2033. If we look at the neighbors of Belgium, there's quite a different approach and different situation in the neighboring countries with both clubs and members. You recall that in England, Probus was founded in 1964-65. They have about 60,000 members right now, scattered over 1,250 clubs. Holland was created in 1977 and has almost 14,000 members in 450 clubs. Belgium followed in 1984, and you know, we have now 4,200 members. The same George Dick who founded Probus in Belgium also was the founder of the very first Probus club in France in 1991. And France reaches now about 1,400 members in 65 clubs, most of them in the north of France, but progressing substantially the latest years in this, also in the south. And Germany, I don't know exactly when it was started, but so far only 13 clubs were started up and chartered in Germany. From our neighbors to further international, in 1996, a group of people tried to set up a worldwide community of Probus seniors with setting up of online conversations. It was called the International Probus Network. That took a good start, created links, but then dwindled down in acceptance and use. And in 2018, a group of IPN members began work to create, on the basis of new initiative, Zoom communication in the meantime, to increase membership and promote Probus growth. And they did so by first setting up their objectives and working out how they could do it. And they actually only started de facto in 2019, 2020. But the system works, and by 2024, they have grown to over 1,235 members in 19 countries. And they're led by an international team of 13 members that make up this organization. The first president was a British lady. The actual president is a Canadian, Richard Furlong, and Canada also supplies the webmaster, a regional coordinator, and a club administrator. Australians, there are 3 Australians member, the newsletter editor, a regional coordinator, and somebody who has been a member of the original team. In Europe, France and Belgium joined their efforts with a Frenchman and myself representing de facto the whole of European Probus clubs, with the exception of the UK, that has its own representation. Scotland has, India, New Zealand, they have regional coordinators. You have to be interested in international communication, or otherwise an exchange photograph, exchange communication, speaking with friends, hosting whenever people are traveling, and contact. Membership is at no cost. The only thing required is that people are a Probus member in a national club. For information, go to probusglobal.org and read the newsletter, read the brochures, see if it can interest you, and join. This is the combination of the Frenchman and myself who represent Probus Global in Europe. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. If you have questions, you can raise them now or later, but I'll hand over to Bea in order to communicate on the formation and the chartering of the first mixed gender club in the city of Kortrijk, our home. our hometown.
Good morning to you all, or good day to everyone who is present or who is listening now. So Gauthier explained that in Kortrijk we have 7 Probus clubs. Kortrijk is a quite active region, therefore a lot of people are interested in joining Probus. There were three men clubs, and in 2008, the regional coordinator of West Flanders asked the clubs that were existing in Kortrijk if they would accept women as members. The answer on that question was no, straightforward, no, no way. So he solved that problem by starting a new club. A couple of people got together, thought about the new club, set some provisional rules, and looked for a number of people who would be interested and who would answer to the requirements of joining a club. That club is called Manten and Kalle, so that's a club where I am a member of. Later, there were 3 more mixed clubs that has been founded. We have about the same activities as Gauthier explained in his lecture. You didn't explain it, I think. So now we have joined something that's typical for Kortrijk. We have joint gatherings with people of the 7 different clubs. For instance, a New Year's lunch. Where all the members of the 7 clubs are invited. Of course, not everybody is present at such a meeting. So I think 100, 150 members come to that joint gathering. Also special is the organization of computer lessons modeled to our own needs. This means we can demand what's put on the program. So it's not a prescribed program, and the members can say, well, we want to have a few lessons on this or this item of ICT. Since 2017, so already more than 4 years, we have film viewing during the winter months. With us, the winter months are October, November, December, January, February, March. We have once a month a film with an introduction made by a specialist. The films that are showed are more special films, not the films that can attract a large public, but more serious films. Afterwards, we can discuss the film with our friends, and usually we also get together for some food, dinner, or just some snacks. Organized in our region were also joint trips abroad. So we had a trip to Moscow, St. Petersburg, to Spain in Andalusia and the Basque country, and a new trip is planned for this year to Greek Macedonia. So those activities are typical for West Flanders and especially for the region of Kortrijk. I told you I'm member of Probus Manten and Kalle, and Manten and Kalle are the people who are on the belfry at the bell on the bell tower in the city of Kortrijk. So and they represent luiden.
They ring the bells.
They ring the bells each hour. So
half hour an hour.
Half hour an hour. And that's why we choose this as a name for our club, because we're a club with male and female representative. But I will come back on the matter of the name. Our first meeting, we had it in September 2008. About 15 members were present at that time. And the club was chartered in May 2009. So in this year, we exist 15 years. In these 15 years, we grow from 15 members to 38 members. And one objective of our club is to have a balance between the genders. So we try to have 50% women, 50% men. Now we have 18 women and 20 men, so it's not exactly 50%, but it's very close. The other mixed clubs in Kortrijk have less female members, so we are really an example of how mixed club should be. We also try to accept new members before or around the age of 70, because we think members will get older gradually, year by year. Everyone gets a bit older. So if we would accept members of 85 years, then you have too many members who are already old. And to keep the club young, we have to accept young members mainly between 65 and 70 years. 65 is presently the age of retirement in Belgium. So most people retire around that age. Age of retirement is gradually going up in Belgium, as it is everywhere in the world. So it will soon reach 76, 78. Our management 68, sorry. Our management committee consists of 4 people. The president serves for a period of 2 years, and he also has a vice president to help him or her. And the vice president is normally also the next president. And up to now, we succeeded in having a gender rotation in the sense that we first had a female president, the next president was a man, and then again a woman as a president, and so on. How is the management team selected? As I told you, the vice president is the next president. So at a new period of 2 years, the vice president presents his new team at the general annual meeting of all the members and asks if they can confirm the team. Next to president and vice president, we also have a secretary and a treasurer. The secretary and the treasurer also accept a term of 2 years, but their term can be prolonged, but they can serve only for a maximum of 10 years. After 10 years, it's necessary to have new people in the management team. Also in the management team, we were successful in keeping a gender balance so far. So 2 women, 2 men in our management team. Our activities are more or less similar to the ones Gauthier presented, monthly lunch meetings, 2 or 3 times a year, a day excursion where we visit a city or an art exhibition. For these activities, partners are also invited. Also for the annual trip abroad, partners are invited. Something that's typical for our club is the Happy Members Day. And what does that mean? Members who want to celebrate something special, for instance, their 70th birthday, their 50th wedding anniversary, becoming grandparent or great-grandparent or so, they organize, instead of that, each organizes or treats the members to something special. We put it all in one day and they organize a special day. It's kind of surprise day. We don't know in advance what the activity will be. There also the partners are invited. Special lunches are the Christmas lunch and the summer barbecue. In addition to our monthly meetings on a fixed date, we have sometimes sportive activities in between. A walk, a bicycle tour, sometimes also a visit to an art exhibition. Dus, and as I told already, we have also joint activities with other clubs. Now about the name Mountain and Kalle, you see here the belfry of Kortrijk, and on the top of belfry there are the bells, the clocks,
Bell rings.
and the two figures, Mountain, Amandus is his full name, and Catherine, or abbreviation Kalle, they are ringing the bells. Dus then they are the symbol for loyalty and team working. And then that's the reason why this name was chosen for our club. Why are they symbols for loyalty and team working? Mountain was a clockmaker, and he regularly had to climb the ladder to adjust the clock to the exact time. And his wife, Catherine or Kalle, was always afraid that something should happen. So she also was present and held the ladder so Mountain would not fall down. As a part of the clock mechanism, they also symbolize the creativity and the innovation of the region. We told already that Kortrijk and region around is a quite active region, also on industrial and commercial aspects. And as guards of the bell tower, we consider them also as the protector of the city and its commercial activities. So this is, and yeah, I would like to add why a mixed gender club. Well, when we retired, we thought, well, we've been in a mixed environment already for a long time. We studied in a mixed environment. We worked in a mixed environment in the medical world, the academic world, the industrial world. So it's strange that when we join a club, once we are retired, that all of a sudden it should be separated. We should be separated, male and female. So our generation thinks it's normal to have a mixed club. And when you ask the members of our club, they are all very happy to be in a mixed club, and they wouldn't change. They all agreed this is really the way it should be. The average age of the members of our club on this moment is around 75. So it's a bit lower than the average age of the clubs in Belgium. So thank you very much for listening.
Just to end the recording, on behalf of the club, the committee of management, and all members, can I say thank you very much for taking the effort to create this recording to compensate for the unfortunate events during the club meeting with respect to the PowerPoint presentation. That was an excellent presentation on the day, and the recording just completes the story. I think the slideshow was excellent, and both of your presentations have been talked about between the meeting and now, I can assure you. So having this now recorded, I think, is just completing the story. We will put this recording on our website for members to enjoy over and over again, and make it available for you to access and use in whatever way you see appropriate to take back to Belgium and show perhaps to your club as well. So again, thank you very much. That was excellent and very well presented by both of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.